Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
That's good stuff. And now, coming live from the Midwest Rex and Rod studio, it's the Outdoor Show with your hosts, the Bisco Boys. That's right, that is Scott over there. I am Drew. I'm sorry about that. With our producer, Lou PBR him, ASAP, Ortman.
But the man's drinking Coors Goldens tonight.
We're ripping some Yellow Jack. It's a banquet beer.
It's Cowboy Summer, right, Luke?
Cowboy Summer, it's how we do it on the ranch. Rose is rose.
You started watching Yellowstone, and now it's Cowboy Summer for Luke, and he's all drinking Coors. I'm waiting for the Cowboy hat to come out on Saturday, and I'll be disappointed if we don't see it. But
Just as long as the chaps stay in the closet.
all right, a word from our partners.
That is correct. A word from our partners. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Tagged and Bagged. They specialize in pre-taxidermy packaging for waterfowl. Their mission is to provide hunters with the highest quality packaging products to ensure preservation of a hunter's prized trophy. Tagged and Bagged products are made with the best materials and are designed to withstand the toughest hunting conditions. Taggedandbagged.net. That's right, folks. Taggedandbagged.net. Get on it. And of course, we got Bucket Ready. Offers premium food plot seed for the best results when attracting wildlife to your property. Knowing what deer prefer, when they prefer it, and putting the best seed together for deer in your special hunting spot is what Bucket Ready Performance Food Plot Seed Mixtures is all about. BucketReady.com. That's right. Come on now. You know it. Get on it. Get on it.
It just keeps getting better.
It's something.
It is something, and you fit some self-deprecation in on that intro too. Again,
Always.
as always.
Always. If you can't make fun of yourself,
Make fun of your brother.
then you're a better person than I am.
Well, all right. Welcome back, everybody, to this episode of the Midwest Racks and Rods Outdoor Show. So tonight, we just kind of wanted to get together with you guys.
Yep.
We've been kind of wishy-washy here with our consistency in shows. We were doing really, really well, putting out weekly shows and that. And,
Yeah, that's right.
But you and I have been dealing with all sorts of stuff lately, and personal life is getting in the way. You started a new job, and on top of that, as you guys, we've talked about before, and we had a post about, our mom isn't doing well, and she's in the hospital, and for the sake of transparency, I guess, we appreciate all the thoughts and prayers. At this point, we're waiting to get her into hospice care.
Right.
She was unable or didn't qualify for the transplant that we were hoping for, not super optimistic in that, just because she all of a sudden took a hard downturn in terms of.
It happened so quick.
It really did. And not that we didn't know any of the stuff. It's one of those things where, you go from you're not sick enough for a transplant to now you're too sick for a transplant. So yeah, a lot of our time has been spent with family. A lot of time, obviously, in the hospital. I mean, I'm down there virtually every single day, and Drew gets down there when he can. Obviously, we're starting a new job, and that makes it hard as well. You know, our wives have been supportive, and you guys have been supportive, and a lot of you have reached out to us on a personal level, and we truly appreciate it. It's never an easy thing to lose a parent, least of all a mother.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's no shot at you, Dad, if you're watching. But you know, we're trying to stay positive, and you know, right now it's just in God's hands, and we're taking things day by day. But it's made it tough. We've got a decent lineup of potential guests here and guests that want to get on the show. But the timing with everything and what's going on, it's really been hard to try to coordinate anything real solid, because we just don't know, you know,
Right.
what tomorrow's going to bring. And
Yep.
we just have to kind of muscle through this time period here and do what's most important. And obviously that's family, you know, family comes first. This is a passion project for us and that, but out of respect for our partners and for you as our followers, we wanted to get together tonight and let you know that we're still here. We're holding strong, and we promise we're going to get back to that level of getting you guys those weekly shows as quickly as we can, as life allows it. So, again, we appreciate everybody, all of you guys that have reached out, the messages, the comments, the phone calls that we've gotten from people. It is greatly appreciated.
Means
And
a lot.
It does.
Definitely means a lot.
So with that said, yeah, we wanted to get together tonight and just kind of have a little rap session, a little BS session here. Luke's back in the house. Luke, what's up, buddy?
Foot's good. Back. Sorry I was gone. Foot is good.
Foot's good.
Well,
That deserves a second round of applause.
A little rusty.
yeah, that's right.
A little
Luke is
rusty.
back.
So we're glad to have Luke back behind the scenes, and happy that Drew's able to get in front of the camera again.
I don't know how happy you all are, but I'm here.
They've only had to deal with my ugly mug. So the last episode we did was the ever controversial giant Ohio buck,
Super controversial.
poached, not poached or whatever, but
Poached.
I mean, all signs are pointing to that. It was poached, or however you want to define, taken outside of the legal means in that.
I mean, innocent until proven guilty, right?
Right.
But
no, we've gotten
those
a
are
couple of
some
those
pretty,
comments that from and that's fine. I mean, you guys are entitled to your opinions, but we
Absolutely.
got some comments from some individuals from the last show saying, you know, well, you know, proven, you know, he's not guilty yet. These are just charges.
and it's
I-
true. That is true.
100%. And quite frankly, in a lot of people's eyes, he's been guilty, you know, in the eyes of the public for quite some time with most of
Right.
the industry, I would say.
That being said, we're perfectly fine if you have an opinion different from ours. That's
Right.
fine. That's no problem. We actually encourage that because ultimately that's going to strike some good conversation.
Right.
As long as we can keep things civil and we can talk about it, differing opinions it's going to happen no matter what the topic is.
Right. And you know, to be honest with you, I feel like he had his court date, or it's either that or it's coming up. Because I wanted to
think
say
it
it was in
was-
the beginning of June. And although here in Wisconsin, it feels like a crisp fall day. It
Right.
is the beginning of June right now. I had that feeling of like, ooh, I should be really amped up for hunting right now,
Or football.
or football.
But then, what was it? Tuesday? Wednesday? Hotter than Dickens.
Yeah.
So
Then the Dickens. And you know how hot that gets.
you know what? No, I don't know. Where is the Dickens on the thermometer?
I don't know, but I think you better tread lightly. I'm talking about the Dickens.
Nobody likes the Dickens.
Dickens where? But no. So we've had some differing opinions in that, but and that's all fine and good. You know, there's a lot of charges, and I'm sure some of those charges might get dropped. That seems to be the case. Whether there's like 23 of them or something.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way to like not having a hunting license. Well, right then and there, if you don't have a hunting license,
That's
like,
pretty damning.
yeah, that is, I don't know. That one's going to probably stick.
Right.
Some of the other ones, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But at the end of the day, he tried to dupe all of us. And unfortunately, that beautiful buck is what becomes overshadowed by all this, because now it's the Alexander buck instead of, the so-and-so buck of the individual who could have taken that legally. And that, and now it's possession of the Ohio DNR, and it'll be on tour and shows there instead of in somebody else's possession. And
it's still, it's just it's more ammunition, right, for the anti-hunters.
Yeah, for sure.
I said that weird. You're an anti-dentite.
You anti-dentite bastard, you. No, that is, you're correct. When we get caught doing the wrong thing, when I say we, I mean as a hunting community as a whole,
right,
or the outdoor community, even fishing. Take for example, the fish gate last year with the walleyes, with the weights and stuff, and then I think there was another one very recently too. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, but I feel like I read something in the last 5-6 days. I don't know if this was for bass or what, but again, weights were found.
Oh, Jesus.
In that,
so they didn't have forced cannibalism on this fish and shove some fillets down its
right.
throat
I don't know
too.
if there was fillets this time.
Good God.
But really, I mean, come on, what the audacity, the balls on, that you must have after what happened last year.
Right. Oh, it won't happen to me. Well, guess what?
Right. And I swear, I mean,
You're right, Scott. It was 2 weeks ago. It
it
happened.
was 2 weeks ago. All right. Okay. What do you have for details there? What can you tell us? Do you know where that was, or I don't know why I feel like I want to say Ohio, but I don't know. I'm not trying to put this black flag on Ohio. That
St. John's, Indiana.
Indiana. Okay. All right.
It was.
Potato, yeah.
That's where the guy's from. He was caught in a tournament in Chicago,
In Chicago.
in the Calumet River.
Yeah. Geez. And then I just saw a post yesterday on
All for $1,300.
Are you
For 1,300.
serious?
That was the prize payout.
what did they actually find? They found weights, right? Was it weights?
Yeah, Caleb Williams' masculinity was it one of them?
Zesty. While he's looking for those details, I mean, what would possess any, especially given how much of a grand stage there was
Right.
for this malfeasance. I really love that word.
Malfeasance.
I made a malfeasance in the bathroom earlier too. Anyhow,
Okay, so he hid fish on a stringer line
Okay.
in the Calumet River where the fishing was not allowed before the tournament. On the morning of the competition, he retrieved these fish and put them in his boat's live well.
got it.
Okay. So the fish didn't actually have weights or anything in them.
Yeah, they were just illegal fish.
Okay. I feel like might be a different story because that's actually a common thing, unfortunately. In fact, I just saw somebody post a video about they found a 26-inch walleye on a stringer with weights in Bago right before. And again, so this was like on a reel or something like that. I don't know if it's for an upcoming tournament this weekend.
There was another one on May 17th where a guy added weights to his fish.
Okay,
And that was in Toledo.
okay. I was right. I was right. It was Ohio.
But the fisherman was from Louisiana, so.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, there you go. Ohio, you're off the hook on that.
Don't try to make this all right for Ohio.
We got
Sorry.
we don't have an issue with Ohio.
It wasn't Jacksonville.
It wasn't Jacksonville. Did this guy from Louisiana originally hail from Jacksonville? I don't. If Summer, if you're watching, if you could chime in, if you know the guy, that would be great.
We have a comment. Ohio getting so much bad rap! Exclamation point. Summer Fillinger.
That's why she.
Oh yeah, she's trying to deflect
to
from
Wisconsin.
She's trying to deflect from Jacksonville. We get it, Summer. We get it.
Yes. And Thad Castle says Father's Day weekend is summer battle on
Bago.
Bago.
go. I don't know how it's
Bago.
pronounced.
Winnebago. Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, you just keep trying to separate yourself from it all you want, but
Call it Bago on the ranch.
so yeah, this was something else, or I don't know. Again, this was a reel, but this guy had, and it was clearly tied on a stringer. And then there was a lot of people like, well, how do you know? And that, well, there was weights on it, and that's kind of the dead giveaway. And sure, the fish could swim away a little bit, but if you GPS that area, the amount of work that goes into, all right, I'm going to catch this 26-inch walleye.
Right.
And then I'm going to put it on a stringer, and I'm going to sink it with weights, and I'm going to try to snag it back up. On Bago, I guess, is a lake that would probably be a little more easy to do, being that it's such a shallow lake, as opposed to Lake Michigan or something where you're sinking them all the way down to the bottom, or other inland lakes and stuff. I guess all the lakes are inland, right?
Yeah, but, yeah.
I don't understand it. I'm not a tournament fisherman. I know lots of guys that are, lots of gals that are. I just, if somebody is watching and they're in that field, I mean, we've had Isaac on, and I can't wrap my mind around cheating like that.
No, I can't either, because, the whole thought of it. Well, and again, going back to, the last major story, right? I mean, it was a big deal. It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. I mean, it was on like Good Morning America and everything. Like,
right. I mean, why even put yourself in that position, considering everything that guy lost?
Right.
It makes no sense to me, and it's really taken the competitive nature out of the sport as well. It's just BS.
I mean, it's it's my understanding, and I don't want to sound obtuse or anything, but cheating has been a part of fishing. I mean, guys would catch fish, and then they put them in cages of sorts and sink them, and have some sort of like little bobber or something like that would kind of mark that spot. It just I don't.
And there's
where's the competition in that?
Right.
Like,
there's cheating in every competitive sport, right? Whether you're taking some air out of your football,
hey, Tom Brady,
or taping your opponent. Also the same team. Oops. Anyhow, I get it. But that's, in my eyes, that's completely different.
Yeah, there's things that you can do that are fringe things, right? That I think you see in sports. It's like, well, it's kind of a gray area. Right. It's not defined necessarily. But these kinds of things are blatant and obvious and
against the law.
And right, not only just in terms of like the tournament, but you can't do that stuff legally. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, is it a matter of clout in social media? I mean, obviously money. When you're talking like when you're winning a boat and you're winning thousands of dollars in these tournaments and that.
The guy doing it for $1,300, I can't wrap my mind around that.
Right.
I mean, that's insane to risk all the penalties, the fines, the losing your license. Right. It loses boat,
Could lose his boat, could be banned from tournaments, for life. Could lose his fishing license for how many years?
I guess I don't want to make any assumptions, right? I mean, desperate times, maybe people get desperate, right? I mean, with anything, right?
Yeah. I'm sure this guy was really hard up and he couldn't sell his boat, huh?
Well, maybe he was on a John boat. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
I mean, again,
I know some
don't wanna
guys
make
that fish in tournaments and in boats that are like nothing compared to some of these guys and do really, really well and get into money.
Yeah.
And they don't have the fanciest Warrior boat or Ranger or
Right.
Bass Track, whatever.
$100,000 boat.
Yeah, and all the electronics and stuff.
So I don't want to put everybody under this broad paint stroke, right? Of malfeasance. But I mean, it's still breaking the law and
Breaking the law.
And I don't know. I mean, the way that they're doing it and what they're doing it for makes me sick. It really truly does, because it all puts all of us in a bad light.
Right.
And that sucks. It really truly sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll find out more about the Ohio buck. I'm sure in the coming days and weeks and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it's all said and done. That deer is dead and now in the possession of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Could you imagine though, like being somebody that was familiar with that buck on your property and, maybe you even pass it up a couple of years and that knowing that this was going to be maybe a 200-inch buck. I can't wrap my mind around that because that buck would have been done 2 years
Right.
earlier for sure if I had the
Thank
opportunity.
God he never crossed my path.
That's not the right. When it was a fawn.
Oh no.
All right, a
They're
yearling.
delicious. They're delicious.
Tender victuals. And then for it to be taken like that, like
Yeah. Sickening. I mean, just even, going back to when we had Yount and Molitor on our property. Yes, we named them. Leave us alone. And somebody else in our hunting group, somebody else in our hunting group snagged. It was Yount. Molitor. Beautiful buck. And still, we're happy for him, but at the same time, you can't help to have like this sinking. Why couldn't that have come my way?
right. And I had multiple encounters with him in that during archery season, and he got taken opening day. And honestly, it was like I couldn't have been happier.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
But in the moment, like there was that sinking feeling of like, man, I had my opportunities if I would have been maybe a little more aggressive. With that said though, like what's even kind of someone, I guess not disappointing, but like it's disappointing the fact that I would have loved to have seen what he would have turned into. Because we end up finding out in that he was only a 2.5-year-old.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. 13 points, split brows, like 2.5.
Jesus.
That doe I shot that year
Yeah,
was bigger body size than this buck.
that's true.
This buck had a lot of potential. And even to see what he would have been like in a year or two, like would have been.
Right. I don't know if, I mean, I don't think anybody hunting that weekend would have been able to pass him up.
No.
I mean, he was majestic.
And he was taken at well over 100 yards away.
Right. In the swamp.
Yeah. So during rifle season, but I'd much rather see, super happy for him that he got it.
Right.
And that as opposed to, just some random neighbors,
Absolutely.
or getting hit by a car or,
Right.
Getting injured.
Still stings.
It does and it doesn't. Yeah. It's just one of those things, but,
Hey, barkeep. Don't stop talking to anybody. Get me a beer.
So what else we got going on? So this weekend, I mean, it's not really hunting or fishing related.
It's outdoors.
But it is outdoors related. We got my wife and I. We've got the Mammoth March on Saturday, and it's a 30-mile hike through the northern Kettle Moraine. And yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. Just throw it.
You were a pitcher, weren't you?
There you go.
Let's wait for it.
Oh, Jesus.
Little foam, little drippage.
Love.
So we got that on Saturday. It's called the Mammoth March, and last year we did it. It was we did a 20-miler, so you get 8 hours to do this 20-mile. This year we're signed up for the 30.
The 30.
And
the dirty 30.
The dirty 30, and it's gonna be dirty.
Yeah, sounds like it might be a bit of weather in the morning.
Not only that, we just got a message sent out to the hikers that specifically the 30-milers, the 20-mile loop should be fine for the most part. Within the first quarter mile of the second loop, the last 10-mile loop,
Yeah.
for the 30-milers is you get about a quarter mile in, and then over a half a mile of over ankle deep water.
Oh, fun.
And you have to come back through that at the end as well. So it's like nothing like getting a quarter mile into your last 10 miles. So now you're 20 and a quarter miles in hiking. You have now 9 3/4 miles to go.
Right.
And you got to go spend a half a mile hiking through ankle deep
Shit.
water. Once you get out of that, then what? Now you have wet shoes. And, I mean, that's a blister.
Yeah.
Like,
Super uncomfortable.
my God, it's
You packing extra socks?
oh yeah. I mean, even
You always
last
do
year,
anyhow.
right? I'm doing several extra pairs this year, and we just found this out tonight. And so my wife Sarah's like, she's like, we should probably pack extra shoes
Yeah.
for
Not a
that
bad
part of it. Like, oh, it just sucks. And it's funny, like in the thing, like, oh, you might want to consider boots, or like, who was doing the 30-miler is hiking it
In boots.
in rubber boots.
Not
You know, like that's ridiculous. I honestly feel like they should just looped it back somehow.
Yeah. I don't know how they, or, how far in advance they configure it and
Right.
what have you. And
That I don't know either. And I'm sure it's probably, if they could, if it would have been feasible, they would have or whatever. But I'm just like, and then on top of it, every day they've added like 10% more chance of rain each day. Now even adding thunderstorms in. It's just,
but I mean, that'll just add another layer of challenge, and when you do complete it, it'll be that much more.
if.
Oh, you'll complete it. I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, the biggest thing now actually is with the thunderstorms and that,
Sure.
like with lightning and things like that. Like, there was a time in my life where that didn't really, I didn't think about it too much. I think I thought about it a lot when I was a kid, and then I went through most of my life. And for whatever reason, like in the last like 8 to 10 years,
Yeah.
I'm like super freaked out about lightning. Like when I'm out hiking and walking, like,
I remember as a kid being super freaked out about quicksand, and I feel like I was completely duped. That, and nobody's offered me drugs. Really sad about that thing. Nobody's offered me drugs. Thought quicksand
Just randomly,
was gonna be
like,
right.
yeah, like-
Hey kid, do you want some drugs? Yes, I do.
like nobody's ever done that. You can blame Lonesome Dove, I think, for the quicksand. I mean, or just the 80s in general. Like
80s in general. I mean, Superman, Wonder
G.I.
Woman,
Joe,
G.I.
like-
Joe.
Princess Bride got me on quicksand.
Right,
Right.
there you go.
And I also thought there'd be giant rats all over the place.
Giant rat. What the?
Rodents of unusual size.
Okay, unusual stuff.
For me, it was the food pyramid with the breads on. Eat all the bread.
Eat all the bread.
Now I have diabetes. Thank you. 80s food pyramid.
I got the sugars.
You got the diabetes?
Sam. Did you? Attaboy. It's delicious.
Yeah, quicksand. And then that was just so rampant. It was in everything. It was like the
everywhere.
death trap for everything. In all cartoons and that, like,
Absolutely.
I've never come across
I was
quicksand.
terrified. I was terrified of what am I going to do?
Right.
How do I get out of this? Is somebody going to be able to
The
save
more
me?
I struggle, the
Right.
the faster I go down. And
Like, why was that a thing?
I don't know.
Weird.
The 80s were a weird time. They were a great time, though.
Yeah, watch 2 months from now.
I
local
wish
West
the only
Bend
thing we
man
had to worry
dies
about
from
was quicksand.
quicksand.
Don't you wish that?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there's a lot of things I wish for my childhood.
I want to, let's go back to the 80s, and our biggest fear could just be quicksand.
What do you miss about your childhood? Not paying bills. How about that? No taxes. That was my mouth. I didn't actually crack one off on air.
But yeah, so that's what we got going on this weekend. So we'll document that a bit. Other guys on the team, well, I mean, Nick Faber's just been doing Nick Faber things, and
Yeah, well, I mean, it's easy because he's single. So,
no, he's not.
oh, he's not.
No,
Oh, well, it's easy because he's married but doesn't have any kids.
no, that's not true
he's
either.
got kids too. Mrs. Faber, you are a saint. You are a saint. I'm sure you're not listening or watching this because I'm sure you don't want to hear about anything outdoors at this point.
Or she's too busy taking care of everything else while Nick's
No,
out catching
yeah.
some fish right now.
She's obviously very supportive, which is wonderful because he's out there all the time doing what he loves.
I think if your spouse isn't into the outdoors at the same level, they at least have to be supportive
100%.
of what we do.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm fortunate
We both are.
with my wife, Sarah, that, she very rarely, if ever, honestly, ever puts up any sort of stink about, I'm going fishing, I'm going hunting, nothing like that. And I'm very, very thankful for that. But I feel bad for anybody that has to fight tooth and nail to get out there.
Oh,
you
it's
know?
funny.
But I think you also have to calibrate yourself, though, too. Like when you have home
right.
responsibilities and you have a family, you can't, you got to find a way to manage
Absolutely.
all of that.
But you look at our parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their wedding anniversary
Yeah, landed basically an opening weekend of gun
opening
season.
weekend. At that time, when they did get married, our dad was not a hunter, and then he got into hunting, and she supported that.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the years, understood that he was going to be hunting with
I think
us.
he did hunt a little bit, but I mean, he wasn't as passionate about it because he even started bow hunting like in the early '80s and that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they were.
Well, right, there were already several. I mean, I was already born. Obviously,
right.
you were already born, but
yeah, I mean, so Ma supported Dad's decision to go off and hunt with us, and which was
every
great,
anniversary.
super super grateful for that.
Absolutely.
Because of all the memories we were able to put together, and but yeah, I mean, behind you can it's the age old statement, right? Behind every great man is I don't know how the hell it goes.
It's something.
Luke, bailing me out.
Yeah, so this 30 miler though, back to that again. It's pretty cool. Like, it's a cool event that this Mammoth March puts on. They have different water stations in first aid stations and stuff like that along the way. Can't remember how many there were for the 20. Not many, but enough that, if you got to use a porta-john or, refill with water. They had like one station where they were doing, they were just constantly, like there was this group of people just making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches just cranking them out, so
Right.
they were just all stacked up. They just
Yeah.
kept going. And that's, so you grab, and they cut them in halves diagonally, as you should, because you're not psychotic.
Right.
You're not a freak show by cutting them in half. They got to be on a triangle.
Or a bias, as it were.
And just cranking them out. And then obviously there's different sponsors and stuff, like Element and things like that, where you get the salt packets, flavored salt packets, add to your water, keep your electrolytes up.
Yep.
Some energy bars. In fact, one station was like loaded with Monster energy drinks and that.
Really?
And it's like, well, that doesn't seem so healthy. I'll tell you what, you grab yourself a can of Monster towards the end of that, for that last, 5 miles.
You're gonna
Dude,
get
that
through
helps. Dude, that'll get you going. And when we finished the 20-miler last year, now last year was like 87, 88 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a scorcher of a day. You're thinking, oh, you're in the Kettle Moraine, state forest. It's really trees. No, there was plenty of sections where you're in these fields,
Wide
the
open.
prairies and stuff like that, and wood edges where you're just getting pelted by the sun all day, and the horse flies. That was actually my biggest concern last year, because I don't know what it is. Like in the last 5 years, I get the worst reactions to a horse fly
Oh my
or
God.
a deer fly.
Yeah.
I should say
freaking
deer fly,
terrible.
not a horse fly, deer flies. I mean, we're talking like ping pong
Right.
ball size welts, and they
Worse than a bee
itch
sting.
and burn. No, I'd much rather get stung by a wasp
Absolutely.
than deer flies. I swell up and it itches, it burns. It's
huge.
It's unreal.
Yeah. Well, and
I
then
hate, and those things are relentless.
there was this was probably 7 years ago. I was hiking
Yeah.
up in the Kettle, and normally, hit like the Parnell Loop and things of that, and decided to branch off and hit the Greenbush Trail. And it takes you around to this marsh, and just got obliterated by mosquitoes. Like there was not a square inch of my body, like literally head to toe, just covered. You wanna talk about like trying to push through on something. Like I was starting to freak out, like because it's a mosquito, right? You get a bite and it sucks, whatever. But we're talking literally head to toe covered. You could not get them off you.
Getting itchy right now. I've got about a dozen bites right now on me.
It was
I've got a couple like scabs already right here from just itching them open.
I was at Waupun Country Club for a tournament,
whopping.
and mosquitoes were so bad we had to put on our rain suits, even though it was 80 degrees and sunny,
Oh my God.
to avoid, because they were head to toe. Because we golfed in our rain suits, even though it was 80 degrees, just to keep the mosquitoes
insane.
off.
Brutal. That's
Yeah.
brutal.
It's terrible.
Yeah. It'll ruin your day super quick.
Look, could you pop up the call-in line? On the screen? Sure. Whatever one. That one, sure.
So yeah, if you guys did wanna or have a comment on something, you're tired of typing, just give us a call. We got a number
Yeah,
down
call
there.
in, because we're not
262.
talking about anything specific. It's a BS session. So feel free to
Talk about anything.
call in and BS with us. I'd love to hear what your plans are for the summer. Are you really going headfirst into some fishing, some bass fishing, some pan fishing? Are you getting the rivers up right now, which are super high? Are you getting your food plots in? You getting ready for this fall? You ready just for summer to be over with already? And
It hasn't even started. But yeah, just give us a call, 262-235-0454. You can see it there on the bottom of the screen. Give us a ring.
ring a
Love to hear
ding
from
ding.
you.
Absolutely.
Should we take a break, actually? Let's take a quick break.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll see. Give everybody a chance to call in if they'd like, and if
Dial
not,
the number. Don't hit call yet. Just have it ready. And then when we come back, we'd love to hear from you.
yeah, because I'm gonna top off my drink here real quick, and
Yar.
we'll be right back, folks.
What is an eponym? A person after whom a discovery, invention, or place is named or thought to be named. There are very few eponyms in the hunting industry. A product so popular and so functional, it becomes the act of the product. So how does something become an eponym? It's the best, hands down. What is an eponym? A person after whom a discovery, invention, or place is named or thought to be named. There are very few eponyms.
Welcome back. I don't know if you guys had seen that with our Stealth Outdoors ad. We do have a promotion running with them right now. It's MWRR10. Will get you 10% off any online order. So we encourage you to check it out. Stealth strips are amazing. They really do make a difference. So check it out. MWRR10, 10% off online orders only. Get on it.
StealthOutdoors.com.
StealthOutdoors.com. StealthOutdoors.com.
And with the other ad there too, during the intermission, make sure you guys are checking out Buckstick.com.
Oh, man.
We got ours out right now. Unfortunately, because of the high saturation of rain that we've been getting here in the upper Midwest, I don't know if it's exclusive to the upper Midwest, but my God, here in town the other night, we got 4.5 inches just here in town. It's unreal. This is not a knock on Buckstick by any means, because I don't think this is normally the case. But where I have one particular Buckstick, the raccoons took it down with ease.
Well, yeah,
with relative ease, because that ground is so soft right now.
soft. We got sand up there. It
Yeah.
doesn't help.
So I got to get up there and get that thing back up.
But the
However,
other one we've had out year
Right.
round.
Yes.
I mean, year round, no issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a happenstance.
that
of
one's
the
on a
weather.
little bit higher ground. This one's kind of in a low-lying area where the water
Yep.
really kind of collects a little bit more. But the newest one that we did put out, I mean, the deer started hitting at, I would say, I think I got the first picture in about 4 or 5 days after. And they started playing around with it. And then it just slowly started taking off in that.
Yeah.
And prior to, I don't know, maybe a week, 5 to 7 days ago, when that went down, they were hitting it.
Still.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a great system. It works. I mean,
yeah,
not only
the,
do we support them, but we use the product religiously.
right, and we have been for years prior to even
Being a
partnering.
partner.
Right, I mean, for almost 5 years, I want to say now.
And just to touch on that again, that is hitting what glands?
That's hitting the preorbital, the forehead, and the interdigital glands.
Right.
The three main communication. Now, deer have other glands as well.
Sure.
There, I'm sure you guys picked that up. I hope you slip in some lung clippings for that.
Jesus.
Gotta take this number down so the lawyers don't call.
Those are the three main communication.
And
sets
with that, they get 3 vials, one of each,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yeah, they're small bottles. Guarantee you will never need to order more.
You really shouldn't.
Really
I mean,
shouldn't.
not
You
for
don't need
years,
much.
anyways.
You don't need much.
Less is more with those. Now, obviously, that this one tipped over now, and that
Sure.
when I set it back up, I'm going to refresh it again.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
I'm going to do two spritzes on top, and for the preorbital, and a couple on the shaft for. You can't stop being a 10-year-old sometimes, can you? I'll hit that with the forehead, and then I'll hit the ground and that again there, and right at the base with that interdigital just lightly. So,
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see on the bottom of the screen, we do have the Midwest Racks and Rods. Call-in line is open, 262-235-0454. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We do not care what it is about.
Right.
If you want to comment on how stupid I look, if you want to comment on how smart he looks, you want to comment about Luke that you can't even see, we do not care. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We can talk about
absolutely.
We can talk about anything.
We could.
Did you like your phone number rhythm? Ba 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 ba.
It was right, yeah. And that was a good cadence.
A local place called Domino's.
Here they got good pizza.
Yeah, that's the place.
116.
Sometimes he doesn't unmute himself. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but
It's all right. We're all right with it.
playing with that thing.
I love the horn.
That's what she said.
See, we really are willing to talk about anything.
Right. One of the things actually you had mentioned, what did you bring up before? Just as like a general topic of conversation.
Well, we won't get into the reason why I came to mind, but what?
Yeah.
That's inappropriate.
That's for the other podcast.
Yar. I'm curious as to what is your dream hunt, right? What is something that if you know, if money wasn't an object, if time commitment, family, any of that, you didn't have to worry about perfect scenario, right? What is your dream hunt?
You
What
can
would
just
you
go
wanna do?
anywhere.
Absolutely. Anywhere, do anything.
Augusta.
That's not hunting. Well, it's hunting for birdies.
Hunting for birdies.
Yeah.
Maybe eagles.
In my case, it'd be hunting for my ball because it's buried in the woods or a pit, as Summer would like to call it.
Idaho with my uncle and my dad. That would be my dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
And what would you hunt?
Animals. Big ones.
Small ones.
Moose.
Animals.
Moose, I think.
That is our producer, Luke Ortman.
I think a moose hunt with my uncle and my dad would be the best.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, when you say it in terms of like that, like the dream.
Yeah, you want to throw Fred Bear in there? Go for it.
Oh,
That's a dream,
Jesus,
right?
man alive. Now we're getting, because I'm thinking, all right, well, I got a few, bucket list hunts and stuff, but you're going to go to that realm where anything is possible, time machines, and I would like to take Fred Bear with me and go and hunt some velociraptors.
So,
Clever girl.
so you don't have access to a DeLorean. Outside of that,
Okay, so you can't bring somebody back from the dead. Well, we got to know the rules
I
here.
want to keep that aspect. No velociraptors. So you can hunt with
Triceratops?
anybody. No, just you can hunt with anybody, but it has to be modern day species. How about that?
Modern day. So woolly mammoths out.
Woolly mammoth is out. Oh, that would be
Saber-toothed cat.
effing awesome. That would be so cool.
I'd be afraid to go on a line hunt, let alone a saber-toothed tiger or cat, whatever. That'd be nuts.
That would be nuts. You want to get nuts?
All right, so anybody, you can take anybody.
You can take anybody.
Boy,
No, anybody. Yeah, but modern day, you can unmute yourself.
You can just bring somebody. You can bring somebody in, right?
There's a
If you're gonna
button
talk,
right
you
there.
unmute yourself.
Got it.
Brilliant.
It's good stuff.
I don't know. Like, all right, so honestly, as far as bringing somebody back, I don't know. That's just too hard. Yeah, it would have been cool to like hunt with somebody like, you know,
Teddy
like a Fred
Roosevelt.
Bear or
Teddy
Roosevelt, right?
Yeah.
just killing buffalo.
Let's go kill some buffalo.
Some bison. But as far as a dream hunt and money and all commit,
Doesn't matter.
I mean, I would really love to go hunt red deer in New Zealand, you know, get a stag.
Yeah.
I think that'd be definitely way up at the top of my list for sure.
Yeah.
Probably more so than any other animal. I'm not a big predator guy, you know, like I don't have this desire to kill a grizzly bear. I don't have any.
I actually have zero desire to ever even see a grizzly bear because I would be just slipping in my own shit.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like, all right, so what weapon are we using too? Are we using archery equipment? Are we using rifles? You know, like
Whatever you want. I mean, that's the beauty of it, right?
Right.
It's a dream. So
I think archery hunting for a red deer, for a stag in New Zealand would be awesome. I don't know how hard it is to archery hunt them,
sure.
but I would also be happy doing it with a rifle too.
Right.
I just think they're really cool. I think they're one of the coolest deer out there, you know, in the deer family. I know there's a lot of different critters like that in Africa.
Atlas deer in Hawaii would be
You mean like axis deer?
Axis deer.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said atlas. I know what you meant.
Axis.
Axis. Or you can do those down in Texas too.
I hate myself. Anyhow,
Yeah, there's actually a lot of places you can do axis hunts, but I'm trying to think what else. Like Africa, like would I want to kill an elephant? No. Would I want to kill a giraffe? No. Like, I don't know. Now that, first off, like, what am I going to do with it?
it doesn't excite me.
You know, like
It truly doesn't.
there's a lot. There are some cool animals in Africa that I you know, like a Cape buffalo or something like that would be cool, or kudu, something along those lines. Don't get me wrong. Like if I had the opportunity to go to Africa and that, like we had Jessica Ann on
Yep.
and that and all the different species that she killed. That's great. Just I don't know if it's just because I know, like in my world, it's probably not going to happen. Like I wouldn't want to spend that kind of money, even if I could. Like I would always find, I'm always that guy. Like if I have that kind of money, there's other things I'd rather be spending it on. I would rather be hunting whitetails all over North America.
Right.
Oh, we got a call.
Accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
You're supposed to keep that part muted, but that's okay.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, fellas, can you hear me okay?
Hey,
Yeah, what do we
how's it
got?
going?
Hey, it's Mike Mason.
Hey, Mike.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I figured I'd give a call and see what you guys were up to today.
Oh, we're just sitting here ripping some yellow jackets and bullshitting.
Very good, very good. Hey, I noticed you mentioned something about you didn't want to ever run into a grizzly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm.
Well-
no, that's a hard no for
Hey,
me.
Say that again.
It's just a hard no for me.
Well, out in Washington State this year, this spring, they reintroduced
Jesus.
grizzlies into the Northern Cascades, which runs from Canada all the way down through Oregon.
Yeah.
And we know that those bears move a lot. So their ranges are going to expand because they haven't been there in 60 years. So this is going to be a game changer for elk, deer hunting, mule deer hunting, turkey hunting.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Oh, 100%, Mike. Like, it's not so indifferent from the wolf reintroduction here in Wisconsin, while we've also reintroduced an elk herd, and it's just kind of counterproductive. Like, I don't really understand. What are we trying to do here? You know, I mean, I think there's room for all, but it'll be interesting to see how they're going to regulate it out there, because here they're not regulating the wolf population here in Wisconsin. They're just letting it continue to grow and grow and grow. And we all know that that's all because of funding from special interest groups, which is just ridiculous. And I'm not one of these guys that's a proponent for eradicating the wolves altogether, but can we keep it under wraps? Can we control this population and keep it at a certain number, or within a certain range of numbers, and not just let it go crazy? So It'll be interesting to see how they handle that out west there by you. What do you think?
You know, I'm not sure, because there was no talk of what the management plan was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I know back in Wisconsin, you know, with the wolf population as it grows, you know, those animals take over and compete with other, you know, top predators like the cougar.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see, well, like you've seen already, cougar sightings in more populated areas further south than we had when we were kids.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that the same thing's going to happen. They reintroduced the timber wolf to the northern Cascades 10, 15 years ago. And the premise was that they would never go very far outside of the northern range, because the northern Washington is way less populated unless you get towards Seattle. But there was so much land and range up there. Well, this year they had a radio collared female that, you know, she traveled well over 100 miles and ended up across the border in Oregon. So, you know, and there's no management plan for them either.
Yeah.
So
that's problematic, right?
It'll be interesting to see how the reintroduction of the grizzly is going to affect the outdoorsman that just wants to get out, like the trail bike riders and the trail runners and the campers, not to mention how it's going to impact ranch land on the east half of the state. And, you know, these animals will go where the food is. Right. So it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays out.
So do you know specifically what particular group petition for this reintroduction into that area? Like, do you know any more of the details on that?
No, it came out in some press releases earlier this spring, and I don't think anybody really paid a lot of attention to it, because the bears had migrated back and forth across the Canadian border. You know, they don't recognize borders; they just go where the land is.
Right.
But the intentional reintroduction of breeding pairs that's the thing that's going to be interesting. So I'll get more information on it. We'll see how it plays out. But you know, you're talking thousands upon thousands of square miles of land that these creatures have never been on, and how are they going to adapt? And how's it going to affect the sportsman? You know, especially with the elk herds, should be interesting. I'm curious to see how it all plays out. But I have ordered a new sidearm to go fishing and hunting with.
Smart.
So just to, you know, for my own safety's sake.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I would, yeah, I would probably do the same in that regard.
Mike, outside of that, I don't know if you heard what we were talking about just before you called in. Drew had proposed the question of dream hunts, where money and time and obligations not an issue. What do you got for us? What if you could?
Well, mine's not so much a hunt, but
Okay.
my first choice would be fly fishing trout. There's a place. It's in between China and Russia. It's not. I don't think it's Mongolia, but I mean, there's an area or a valley that is monster brown trout,
Okay.
or a subspecies of the brown trout. And I caught it on a fishing show years ago, and that to me just seems like the absolute top of the fly fishing trout fishery game.
Sure. That's awesome. I like that.
I guess I didn't even realize that you did fly fishing out there.
What? Oh yeah.
But then, if there were for a hunting, I would love to get a four-state Grand Slam with all four of the major turkey species.
Yeah.
I think that would be the runner-up.
Do it. Yeah. Do the North American Grand Slam for turkey.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. The North America Grand Slam. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. That's a bucket list for me as well. I definitely want to do that.
One day.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One day. Yes. Well,
All right, gents, I'll let you go.
I'll join you on that trip if you ever want to do that. We'll just take it. We'll just take it a whole spring. We'll do it, man.
I just talked to a guy about 3 weeks ago, right as our season ended, and he missed it. He missed out. He got three: Idaho, Washington, and Oregon, and he was headed to Montana and missed his opportunity, and time ran out on him.
Oh man.
So
Yeah, but even that,
I chatted. I shouldn't say I talked to him. I chatted with him on Facebook. I started a Facebook group out here for Washington, Oregon turkey guys, and we got to chatting one afternoon, and man, talk about comes down to the last 2 days, and he missed an opportunity.
Wow.
But
Still pretty damn cool though.
I mean, and
That's cool,
I
yeah.
don't know that the Grand Slam needs to be necessarily completed in one season for it to be a Grand Slam, does it? I'm not, and I could be wrong. I just thought, like, I guess it depends on the interpretation or what actually qualifies. Does it need to be done within one season, or, do you eventually just Grand Slam because you've got one and, each of the subspecies and stuff over the course of a career?
I'm not
or
sure.
something? I'm sure there's two ways to look at it. Or
yeah, I'm
recognize.
sure there's a career one to say that you got these species, and then of course there's that spring season
Mhm.
Grand Slam. I mean, that seems to be a big deal out in the Northwest. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
but yeah. If you ever want to sit down and plan it, I'll be back. I'll fly back to town, and we'll sort of figure it out over some beers. But
Yeah.
that would be
buddy.
an epic adventure.
I absolutely would be. That would be awesome. Well, Mike, we appreciate you giving a call into the call-in line, and we'll talk
All right,
soon.
very good.
Always
Yeah,
good
take
to hear
care.
from you, buddy.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Nice. All right. It's that easy, folks. Just dial that number. Give us a call.
We have a comment on a dream trip.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Andrew Thiessen, peacock bass fishing in the Everglades.
Ooh, peacock
Okay.
bass. Yeah.
Okay. That would be pretty awesome.
I can get down with that. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you said hunt or whatever, but I mean, I like that. Like, what outdoor adventure,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be hunting. It could be, if you're hardcore into hiking and that's why you tune
Right.
into us. Anything outdoors. That's truly what we're about. It doesn't.
I
have to
want
be
to
hunting
glamp
fishing.
in every campground in the state of Wisconsin. I want to go glamping.
Sure. That's great. Then, you do you.
Every campground that has an in-ground pool.
You do you.
All right. So what about Drew?
Yeah, so this entire time I've been thinking about it, right? I mean, even to when I posed the question pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really a struggle because there is a few things. One, and it's very attainable. It really, truly is. It's just money and time, right? I think that boils down, or is problematic for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to get an elk hunt in under my belt at some point in my life. I want to hear and I want to feel that bugle.
Yeah.
In person. I want to feel the rush of that hunt.
Yeah. I mean, it's no joke. Elk hunting is no joke.
No, right.
The amount of endurance that you need in that to climb those mountains and hills and things like that and constantly be on the move, the amount of miles you put on in a day, is absolutely no joke.
And not to mention if you do get one, you're packing it
right,
out.
and then packing out. I mean, there's a lot of things that are involved with it. We know lots of guys that are very proficient and have done very well. And again, that's another thing too. Do you want to rifle hunt? Do you want to shoot this thing at 300 yards, or do you want to get it within bow range? Those are essentially two different hunts in themselves.
Absolutely. I would like. So I know this is something that we've been talking about for years now, getting me into bow hunting. That would be something that I would want to bow hunt, 100%.
I agree. I'd also be fine with
rush.
taking my first elk with a gun too.
Sure.
And then kind of working my way up.
I mean, just imagine bringing in that big, majestic,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. I mean, that to me is like,
And elk is so delicious too.
oh God, yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it varies a little bit from range.
Sure.
Like if you're talking New Mexico versus even Colorado and things like that. Like obviously what they're eating and things.
To specify, I would say like a Colorado
Sure.
elk hunt.
Rocky Mountain elk.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had an elk burger in Wyoming, and it might have been top 3 burger of all time I've ever had.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Well, you're living the cowboy summer, so I would expect to hear that you're eating elk burgers on the regular.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, it's
just keep
cowboy
those
summer.
chaps
Cowboy
in
summer
the
for Luke.
closet, please.
I think he's changing his last name to Combs. He said for the summer.
Country music time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our producer, Luke Ortman. I mean, now for me, like, more realistic, like dreams that I intend to fulfill in that. Like, I want to get on some big mule deer hunts in that. I want to spend more time hunting other states than the ones I have. Whitetails is where it's really at for me, but mule deer, I would like to get a couple mule deer. But man, if I could just hunt whitetails all over North America,
Right.
and that is where it's at. It's just that's the species of deer that just gets me fired up.
Yeah.
In that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to go on an elk hunt. I think I've said it in the past on the show. Like, it would be really cool to go up to Canada and try to get the Yukon and get a moose or something like that. But at the end of the day, if it was like, if there was only one species that I could hunt, but I could hunt them wherever, and that'd be whitetails, hands down. I mean, I don't know. And some people might like, that's crazy. Adam, my wife's cousin, Ben, we had him on the show. We got the bison in that. Those guys have gotten elk in that. Adam goes all the time every year.
Yeah.
You know, he's got his guide's license down in New Mexico. That's great. And maybe if I did it, I would change my mind. Maybe all of a sudden, you know, it would be a switch and that would be a new passion. But otherwise, just let me keep hunting whitetails until the day I die. Like,
And that, you know,
I love them.
there is 100% a wrong answer here. You know, I mean, I think it's always fun to play these scenarios out, right? Because it's something that,
Well, it's like talking about what would you do if you won the lottery?
yeah.
You know, like, oh, I would build a community.
I'd go on an elk hunt.
I would build 10 houses for all my friends and family to live in. And
Right.
nobody's ever done that.
Hundreds of acres in every state to go hunting in.
Right.
Another thing would be, I got two more, would be like a week-long fishing trip in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
That's definitely
very attainable.
doable. Yeah, we can definitely we could make that happen.
absolutely.
My uncle just got back from that.
Nice.
Yeah, right. You know,
Been going 53 years with the same group of guys.
yeah, my old boss goes for a week with his father every year and gets this beautiful cabin, ridiculously cheap, comes with a fishing guide, you know, tells you what lakes to get on. The water is crystal clear.
Oh, the way to do it is where you fly into that lake. The only way to
even
get
that.
to the lake is fly in.
Even
you
that.
know,
But like
that's where it's at.
he, you know, his truck when he comes back is full of scratches and a few more dings and dents because of how treacherous it is just to get to this cabin. You know, and that to me is kind of exciting. You know, it's off
Mess
the
your truck up.
no, just
so
off
exciting.
the beaten off the beaten path.
Right. No, I hear you.
You know, very secluded. You're off the grid, right? You don't have this goddamn phone going off every 5 minutes.
Right. In some cases, you almost need to have a satellite phone, you know,
Right.
to have any communication. Cut yourself off from, you know, the social media world and
Yeah.
altogether. Yeah, I get that.
And then lastly, and briefly, my wife, Kim, she hiked a mountain in New Zealand. And just looking at the pictures that she has, my God, what a absolutely beautiful landscape.
Did she hike the trail to Mordor?
I think so. She was dropping the ring.
I have a fishing dream.
My precious. Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
Ice fishing in the cabin we stayed at last year, but the ice right by us was frozen where we could just go right outside the cabin.
Where we didn't have to walk through a cemetery
Yeah,
to get to.
because that cabin was sweet. I would do that again if the ice was right there was fishable. That'd be sweet.
Cabin
Hey,
was awesome.
that's a
That was
great dream.
That was a great weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun. Again, thanks to you for hammering out the details, lining everything up, getting us that place.
This year was difficult with all that. I mean, just like, where's their ice? You know, like this was a messed up winter for ice fishing. I feel bad for a lot of guys. I mean, and a lot of guys were getting out there. The diehards were hunting on a couple inches of ice, and I mean, even where we were. I mean, actually, we had about 9 inches, but there was also
spots.
in spots, and then there was other areas of wide open water and that. And the cabin that we were at, unfortunately, it was like 30 yards before you even hit ice of open water along the shoreline. So we had to
So here we have
sneak
this
down to a cemetery.
beautiful cabin, you know, right on the lake, and we had to get into the truck every morning to go fish.
Yeah,
And you know what? It was still awesome.
but we got to go fish,
It was still a hell of a. I mean,
crack beers.
that to me is like, that's almost become like a second highlight of the year, right? You have deer camp, right? Opening weekend,
Nice
rifle.
fishing trips. Yeah,
awesome. And then, bam, we have our ice fishing trip now, and it's a blast.
This year's going to be crazy. Going to have Packers Super Bowl, ice fishing trip, wedding in like a 4-week span.
We're going to be slammed.
So you're going on the 14-year thing. That's it's our year. It's 14 years.
Yeah. We got any other comments there, Luke? Anything else we missed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
We had 4 ice this year. Andrew Thiessen, Tiffany Ember's brother. We had 4 first ice this year.
4 inches, I'm assuming is. Yeah, it was not a great year for ice fishermen anywhere.
No, sadly.
I mean,
Sadly. It'll be interesting to see what the season brings.
yeah, I mean, we was it an El Nino year and that, and I mean, last year we had droughts here in the upper Midwest, you know.
I know this year.
And then this year we've got it's monsoon season. I mean, it's just crazy how the seasons change from one year to the next. But
there's plenty of open water fishing, right, that we can tackle this summer.
Yep,
and,
absolutely. Bass fishing should be good. I can't wait. Brad and I are talking about getting out on the kayaks here very, very soon.
Good.
Maybe even tomorrow.
Okay.
Because why not kayak 12 miles and do some fishing and then do a 30-mile hike the next day?
Get your upper
Right, you gotta-
body
yeah.
the day before, lower body the day after,
Right.
and then we'll have ramen.
Oh yeah. So last year, we the day before we did the 20-miler, Matt, Brad, and I did a big long kayak trip and that fishing, and got sunburned. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So my thighs are like sunburned in that, and the next day I gotta go and hike this 20-miler and that. My wife's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any complaining on the hike. But
Fair enough.
anyways, I think this is a good time to wrap up. We appreciate you guys tuning in tonight and hanging with us and having a couple cocktails and beers on a Thirsty Thursday. We're glad to be able to get back in the seat, have Drew on this side of the table, Luke back on that side of the table, and bring you, a slanted half-ass show, but a show nonetheless.
A show nonetheless.
And we're gonna keep trying to plug them the best we can. As Luke just pointed out here, he brought up, if you guys have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, we would greatly.
We would love you even more than we already do.
And we love you a lot, but we could love you some more.
Oh,
If you
we
would
love you a
just
long time.
hop over to our YouTube page, if you're not already watching on it, and subscribe.
Give us a like.
Give us a like. Hit that notification button. Then you'll know exactly when it shows up. You don't have to wait for some random post to come up that all of a sudden, hey, they're going to do a show finally.
Hey, these jackasses are actually going on.
They're going on again. But you guys are great. Thanks for sticking with us through these turbulent times that we're dealing with here. And
Keep the thoughts and prayers coming. We genuinely appreciate it. Thank you very much.
we absolutely do. And we'll keep you posted here. We're hoping to do another show next week, Thursday. And we'll let you know as soon as possible. But until next time, guys, always outdoors.